so long space remain, so long sentient beings remain, so long suffering remain, I will remain in order to serve. That's the real purpose of our life.
In 1991, I filmed the first major movie to be made about the Dalai Lama, called Compassion in Exile. At the end of our last interview on the final day of filming, I had just one last question to ask him.
American presidents have 4 years and maybe 8 years to plan. Soviet leaders have maybe 12, 15 years to plan. Dalai Lamas have many lifetimes to plan. Do you have a plan for this lifetime?
Lifetime. I don't know. Basically, as a Buddhist practitioner, the main purpose of life is serving or helping, or at least contribute some happiness to others, including animals, insects. That automatically you get some satisfaction, inner peace. So that's the basic thing. Then I think another level, as long as I remain as a refugee, I will remain as a leader for the struggle. And then when we gain our freedom, our right, I will be no more as a leader, remain as a ordinary Buddhist monk. Usually I call simple Buddhist monk. Then, if possible, in a few years, I very much want to remain in isolated place. More rigorous meditation. This is my wish. And then the preparation for last days.
But His Holiness was not to get his wish. Not only has there been no improvement in the situation in Tibet, but things have actually gotten worse. Since 2009, over 144 Tibetans, mostly young people, have tragically taken their own lives by setting themselves on fire to protest the Chinese occupation of Tibet.
As a Tibetan, I feel very deeply about every single Tibetan that's lost today. The self-immolations that have occurred inside Tibet, this is a signal and a message to the rest of the world and to us in exile that they're not happy the way they are living inside their own country, the way the Chinese government is treating them, the occupation and suppression of the Chinese government over the Tibetan people. They have not burned a single Chinese bus, nor have they killed a single Chinese person. What they have done is they have harmed themselves, they killed themselves, so that their message can be heard by the rest of the world.
Oh, extremely sad, very sad. Even just burn your finger, very uncomfortable. Then burn your own body. Unthinkable. But then these people, not due to drunk or family problem, but they're really facing unbearable circumstances, too much fear, and there's too much criticism about their faith like that, too much control like that.
The horror began in 1950, when the newly formed People's Republic of China invaded Tibet, nearly doubling their landmass. The Chinese wanted the natural resources, they wanted the wealth, and they wanted to control the water that is the source of the major river systems of Asia. They claimed that they were liberating Tibet from imperialist forces. Tibet was thrown into turmoil. The people responded by calling upon the teenage Dalai Lama to take control of the country as the head of state. One of his first actions was to confront his enemies directly. He went to China to meet with Mao and Zhou Enlai. He went to argue for the fate of his country, and he had just turned 19.
So I went there speaking. During that time, although not a negotiation, but serious discussion with Chairman Mao regarding future Tibet. I very much, how to say, anxious. But an actual discussion with Chinese leaders, especially Chairman Mao, outwardly, things not difficult. His manner, the way of conduct, is so gentle, so friendly. At that time, I believed we developed some kind of, I think, some kind of understanding that I felt. But then later, it seems my conviction or my observation seems, I think, seems wrong. Then, you see, things getting worse and worse. Then 1959, around January and February, things really become, you see, tense. And finally, it was certain now things definitely become out of my control. Then, you see, there is no hope for dialogue with Chinese. So there is no other alternative except, you see, escape. So finally I decided, with sadness, you see, finally I left, you see, Lhasa.
The night we left, my mother, my sister, myself, and some of our people who helped us, we left Noble Inca somewhere at about 9:30 in the evening. And His Holiness followed after half an hour. We had no moonlight, but we could see the lights of the Chinese camp towards the west. And I don't think they're very far. They're just about 300 yards away. And from the day we left Lhasa until we reached the Indian border, it took 17 days.
Who's in the picture?
Yeah, that's His Holiness here. Okay. That's me. Then the group.
How old are you in that picture?
I was going to be 13.
But not all the people close to the Dalai Lama could escape with him that night. The Chinese systematically rounded up all those people close to His Holiness, like his personal doctor.
My crime was that in 1959, I signed a statement saying that Tibet was an independent country. For that, I spent 17 years in Chinese prisons and concentration camps.
And like the Dalai Lama's chant master, Thupten Chokden, called Losala.
Losula, he was a chant master in 1959. And he used to be a very handsome fellow. He had a wonderful voice, and he's a very outstanding person. He was in Chinese prison for a long time, probably over 20 years. And then he was allowed to leave Tibet and come to India, and he stayed here.
See, he mentioned about the work, labors, like that. And then he mentioned during those periods, some occasion, he really faced danger. What is danger, I asked? Danger of losing compassion towards those Chinese officials.
This some corner water Tunganalea Kundo
펜바시다만 두고 자는 게 제만요. 바야다서 상보시다자 인지 심킨 젠진의 스텝이
Yeah, how can you do that? But then I suppose if you really develop a sense of other people and what their true being is, and particularly, I think firstly you have to distinguish between the person and the action. I think he was able to distinguish between the person and the action. The action is Chinese guards must have given him a tough time, but he never forgot the Chinese guards are people.
When I first met with the Dalai Lama to discuss the new film, it was clear that it would not just be about his reincarnation and the geopolitical chess match he's engaged in with the Chinese, but that we would include the things that he feels a passion for and an urgency to share with the world.
This Dalai Lama is a very unique Dalai Lama. It's the first Dalai Lama to spend most of his life outside Tibet and to engage the modern world and to bring methods and values from an ancient culture and wisdom into the modern world, and a world that sorely needs it.
His Holiness first wanted the atlas or map of emotions done. So my dad and I met with him and told him how we thought we could create this atlas and how much we might need to do it. And he agreed. He's our #1 funder. He's our boss, he's our project manager, and luckily a pretty kind taskmaster. But more than anything, he's our motivation and inspiration. We're so happy to show you what is almost complete in this atlas today.
Yes.
So we begin here by an overview of these 5 primary emotions, as you've seen. The emotions have a relationship to each other. And in this first image, we show this relationship. Then here, we have the states of our emotions. So the states of anger. And here, you see them named.
Argumentativeness.
No listening, only talking.
Sometimes me also like that.
All of us, yes? Many times.
We did this.
So just ahead, for sadness, for example, we also have the actions of sadness. So how it feels, what are the ways that we act?
Usually scientists cannot make, which is some kind of measurement.
Yes, very.
Intensity of this mental experience.
For the Atlas, we were always between two goals. One, help people. Two, represent science. And sometimes one goal is higher than the other. With the way people report emotion, this is as scientifically valid as any measurement, because it is our felt experience. We don't know exactly how this will help people yet. And we're hopeful by seeing this, they will understand it,
yes,
and it can bring awareness.
Ultimately, our emotion is the real troublemaker. So we have to deal that. In order to deal that, like I think sometimes we may call these destructive emotion is our inner enemy. So in order to deal that enemy, firstly, we have to know nature of that enemy and their sort of strength come from where. And then deal enemy.
Yes.
So here now really the training of mind with fuller knowledge about these whole map or atlas of emotions. Then much easier.
Yeah.
Much easier. Not relying on some external means.
Yes.
But through training and awareness.
Yes. I probably have 40 more years to work on this. I would love to continue to work and figure out ways to help people with their emotions. What is the next step?
I think it is important to let them know we have this sort of ability by nature. Usually, you see, when we face some sort of mental level problem, we usually rely on religious faith. Then that's cannot cover 7 billion human beings. So we are working for 7 billion human beings.
Yes.
So that's my view.
Yes, yes. It has been such a wonderful project. Your support has been incredible. It's very meaningful for us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So these are human knowledge. It is something belongs to the world. Should not consider as a religious or Buddhist sort of matter, something Buddhism. No. This is our common knowledge, our human knowledge which is related with humanity. So I think time come, our knowledge which we kept over 1,000 years, this I think should now make available to everybody.
I think one reason that education is so important to him, values education particularly, is that he takes this long view, that it's going to take a century to change these things. And the most powerful way to start is with kids, giving them the inner tools, the right ethical stance that will help them throughout their lifetime change things, change the violence, change the emphasis on pure materialism, and understand that a rich inner life, that relationships, that thinking about other people matters too.
The Dalai Lama has really played a critical role in instigating and catalyzing the work in British Columbia around heart-mind learning, or social and emotional learning. He served as the spark around balancing educating the mind with educating the heart. Right now, approximately 90% of the 60 school districts in British Columbia have a focus around social and emotional learning.
So we really need to get him to the class as quickly as possible. So if you can move it as quickly as possible to the class. Okay?
So you want me to hurry the Dalai Lama, is what you're
Yes, I do. Yes, I'm really looking forward to watching that.
Great. No problem.
That's right.
Hey guys, you gotta make room.
Please, so we get the receiving
You need
eyes.
to make room.
Fiona?
Yeah, like receiving, excuse me. Media, please. Today I'd like to show you how we're educating the hearts of students.
Very good.
In school. We have 2 classrooms, one of which... One classroom is 9 and 10 year-olds who have been studying. This is Jen Erickson.
Hello.
A teacher at Moberly Elementary School. She's going to show you what her students have been doing in their classroom.
Can social and emotional development or compassion, kindness, empathy, can that be taught? And what we found from most recent science is that those skills, like understanding others, being empathic, taking others' perspectives, are malleable, which means that you're not born with them, that you can learn them.
So Your Holiness and the students are so excited to show you the gratitude circle today. And the students here are all 8, 9, and 10 years old, and we're very excited about this, so thank you. How does gratitude help you? How can gratitude help us?
Gratitude helps us by teaching us that we have a lot that we should be grateful for and not just sitting around and moaning that we don't have what we want.
Gratitude helps us in many ways, like releasing a chemical in our brain called dopamine. It's a happy chemical.
That's zero. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right.
How about when we do the circle, how do you feel? How do you think other people feel?
It makes me feel calm.
It makes you feel calm.
Calm. Yes, now that's the point. I think that's very, very important.
Great. Well, everyone, thank you so much, Your Holiness.
Wonderful. Do you want a picture?
Oh, can we have a... Fantastic. Please, all the students.
The taller, the ones in the back. If you look this way.
Okay, you sit down on the front, sit down on the
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you all feeling? Was it good? How did it feel? Well, you're so nervous. You did beautifully. Even through your nerve, you focused. Did you use your mindfulness? Excellent. I saw a lot of you using breathing and thinking. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful job. How are you feeling, baby?
We will be observing the lesson, and we are fortunate to have Peter Sonde join us today, who is a Mind and Life Research Fellow, as well as a neuroscientist from the University of British Columbia. And they've been curious about what science can tell us about the brain, happiness, and compassion, and leading a meaningful life.
Cool. Feel free to sit down, yeah. So today we have Simran. She has an EEG on. What she's going to do is she's going to focus on a dot, and we're going to distract her, and we're going to see the fluctuations in her mind as she is focusing on that dot, and you guys distract her. So the first person we're going to get up is Sarah and Harleen.
Simran, look at me. Simran. Okay, so there was this like dog walking the other day, and then I walked into it, which was really sad.
So we're seeing fluctuations as she goes in and out of focus. And now Richard, you feel free to try to knock her off that.
So Simran, the question is x plus 7 minus 4 equals 19. So what do you believe x equals?
And so what we're seeing here is we're seeing a dip in her, in a proxy for her attention right now, as she's kind of dealing with multiple distractors in the room at the moment.
May I interrupt you?
Answer, please.
When we're training our mind, it is quite sort of useful.
Right.
Make distinction, the mental level and sensorial level.
Right.
When you look
On the dot.
On the dot.
Dot, yeah.
So long, you see that dot there, you see it work.
Like an image. So the image in front of you served as a prop, but actually what you are focusing on is the image in your mind.
Not external thing. Then you can prolong even hours without that object.
Yes.
But it cannot disturb your mental focusing that image. So that's, I think, important.
Yeah, very important.
Your Holiness. Your Holiness, we are curious to know, how can we be focused, healthy, and happy each day?
I think my approach to life or to problem, I think more realistic. That help is intellectual level is know these things and try to solve these things, how to face these things. But deeper level, I can keep my mind more calm. That we can do. We have this capacity, we human being. In order to develop genuine peace of mind or long-lasting peace of mind, firstly, we should have fuller knowledge about nature of mind and variety of mind and as well as emotion. So usually I call map of mind or emotion. Here, you see no concept what is good or what is bad. No, simply what is the world of mind or emotion. Once we have, you see, some understanding, some awareness about, you see, these things, then according to our own experiences, daily experience, about, you see, irritation come, your mind disturbed, not happy. Then no longer any calm mind. Medical science now already show, in order to have a physical healthy body, you have to take concern about healthy mind or healthy emotion or calm mind. Now that already, now many scientists now say that constant fear, constant anger, hatred, actually eating our immune system. So long run, these destructive emotions are very bad for our health, for our peace of mind. Then we develop interest. What's the counterforce? This emotion. Now within emotion, since you see, not much sort of effective relying on external means or drugs or these things or alcohol, then you see what is the sort of within the mind, within emotion, what is the counterforce about fear? Fear, suspicion, anger, jealousy,
while these is alive, these are active in your emotion, you never get genuine relaxation. On the other hand, warm-heartedness, sense of concern for others, these emotion brings inner strength, self-confidence. These are the basis of complete peaceful mind.
Through training of our mind, training means utilize our intelligence. Since trust, affection, something very important, very useful for individual, for family, for society, ultimately for humanity. Our Supreme Master was Buddha Shakyamuni. Since he himself, told or advised his follower, "Oh, my follower, ordained monks and scholars should not accept my teaching out of faith, out of devotion, but rather thorough investigation." So then, poor Dalai Lama, my talk, they should examine, investigate. Anger is part of our mind, but actually 90% of that negativeness is mental projection. Through decades practice, I myself, now over 60 years of practice, my positive emotion further increase. Destructive emotion, their intensity reduce. So like that. So these are not easy, but possible. I think basically, I'm short-tempered. You see, something goes wrong. The immediate reaction is to say, "Oh, shouting." Particularly, those are my sort of staff member here. So I jokingly used to telling people, my compassionate part is I got this from my mother's side, and short temper, my father's side. But like my father, my anger never remain. I said, more deeper way. Immediately come some anger, shout, and then finished.
The Dalai Lama liked to come to the cathedral. I remember the first time he came, Philip Glass was at the organ. And I mean, it was really wonderful. One of the things that I was really committed to doing was to make the cathedral a place of great wisdom, which comes from all different traditions in the world, and great people who articulate that wisdom. And so when the Dalai Lama came, I said, this is a man that we must have here because he's an extraordinary, heroic man. And he suffered for his integrity. He's committed to eliminating suffering, being with people in poverty. I mean, those are the things that matter. Whenever one is with one of these precious jewels who are so beautiful and who are so heroic, I just feel enriched. I feel like, boy, I can keep going. I mean, he feeds me. He sheds light and love and integrity in my direction, and that's fantastic. What more can I ask?
I like them on brown paper.
What I hope for in our exhibit, after 80 years, are there certain things you see in all these photos that are characteristic? There are specific times and places over the extraordinary lifetime of this person on the public stage. Can you see in these photos how he changed? Can you see how he remained his true self? I would dare to say that there would be few people, in my opinion, who would be in the presence of the Dalai Lama without feeling touched by holiness. Now, maybe they'd use some other word. I would say this person's the real deal. You feel you're closer to what we are meant to be. People want to believe that human beings can be like this. Abundant life is in this person, the way it's supposed to be in everybody. There is a way that you come to respect and reconnect with what it means to be fully human when you're in the presence of people like that. Can human beings be this special? I believe we can. And I believe they would say, don't just look at me, look at opportunities you have to be like that. I practice this through interfaith in many ways because I'm not just trying to learn about other faiths, I'm trying to learn more about my own faith by being interfaith. Because I'm staking my life on my faith, but if I could meet somebody that does wonderful things but doesn't believe in God, then I go, okay, that's fantastic. I need to believe in God for me to do some things that are almost counterintuitive, because I get very upset with people, and some people I don't like very much, but I believe I'm supposed to care about that. I'm supposed to seek and serve Christ in all persons. I'm supposed to respect the dignity of every human being. And when I meet somebody like the Dalai Lama and I see this is a man who does that, even though he doesn't believe what I believe, these are extraordinary human beings. And yet when you get to meet them and talk with them, they will push back on you and tell you, no, they're not. It doesn't mean that they're not willing to embrace the role, because they know they're on a stage where they can be an enormous force for good. So they'll take on the challenge of being that, but they don't take themselves too seriously. And that makes them even more special. This is a man who is getting older and isn't any more afraid now that he's older than he was when he was young. When he was young, he had a lot of things to be afraid of as an exile. Today, whenever he's come here, he's had to have a rather massive security detail. This is a man who could be afraid of a lot of things he's not, and he's not afraid of death. He's not afraid of growing old. So I want to grow up and be like him.
This music was written for the evening in 1979 when His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave his first public address in North America, here in this cathedral, St. John the Divine. And I composed the music on this organ for that event. I was very fortunate to spend some time with His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We've had a number of conversations about music and about Buddhism. The training that comes with the Tibetan Buddhist tradition is very helpful. I've been involved with that practice for a long time. It's been valuable, no doubt. So I really feel there's a deep connection between mind training and artistic creation. I think music is a place. It is definitely a doorway to transcendence. The Dalai Lama had given a talk about the Bodhi mind, and they said, when have you felt, what are your experiences with love? And he said, my experiences with love is when I think about people, animals, and insects. Insects. That's a hard one. Very few will think of insects. He thinks of insects. He said, I am so moved when I think of them that I weep. He said, I've been known to weep in my teaching because I'm so connected with these things. I thought, wow, insects. Boy.
From Buddhist viewpoint, all religion created by a human being. Therefore, we all have the same potential to practice infinite love. Then you see different philosophy developed. Concept of creator, concept of Buddha, all these come. So therefore, the all major religious tradition, the essence is practice of love. There's no question.
Oh, I think my childhood, well, now almost like a dream, but so many years back, you know. My sister, my elder sister, and then me, and my second brother, my third brother, and my fourth brother, His Holiness, we were all born in the, you know, cow barn. So in the Tibetan custom, you know, we think you see, you give a birth, then we should go to the, you know, straw house or, you know, straw room or go to the cow barn because you make a mess. That's right.
At the age of 2, this precocious son of uneducated peasant parents was discovered to be the reincarnation of the previous Dalai Lama.
Few occasions In dream, I remember some is my previous lives, but these are mysterious.
For me, I don't consider His Holiness as a brother, in the sense that, when His Holiness is recognized as the Dalai Lama, he is taken from the family and he stays up in the Potala. It's a very different thing from an ordinary brother in an ordinary family.
The people who were concerned, who were supposed to look after him, who were his teachers, I think they were rather strict with him. No, it's not like, oh, you are the Dalai Lama, you can do what you want. I think that's totally out. It's not the way.
Lingren Rinpoche, my tutor, and till his last day, he remained my best friend, my best teacher. Since my childhood, he looked after me, very kind. But at the beginning, when I was very young, he never smiled to me. He never showed smile. So I'm a little bit afraid. I think now I realize he acted, I think, as a good teacher. A little bit scared to me, strict.
Lingren Rinpoche passed away in December 1983, and I was born in 1985 in that same area. I was recognized at a very, very young age, when I was 1.5 years old. One of the youngest Tibetan lamas to be chosen, and they found me in the baby room in the Tibetan children's village. My name is Lingren Rinpoche, and I am the reincarnation of the 6th Gyabje Lingren Rinpoche, who was the senior tutor to His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. The earliest of my memory is me being in the previous Lingren Rinpoche's house. I remember a lot of people coming to see me, bowing down and taking blessings. I feel so happy about it. I'm very fortunate that so many people love me and that so many people care about me. They see me as the predecessor. They will not differentiate. But they also put a lot of hope for the future to me to become a qualified and learned master, so that I should become the master to the next 15th Dalai Lama.
Now, if consciousness is 100% the brain, then forget about reincarnation, past life, future life. It makes no sense. Now, if consciousness is not just the brain, then you can ask, where did it come from? Where is it going? So again, it comes back to the deeper question of nature of consciousness. So assume that the Buddhist view is correct, and then there is continuity of consciousness. So it's like a stream. You have a river, and the river has an history. So the river can be polluted, that river can be crystal clear, that river can even on top of that have medicinal qualities and medicinal plants in the water. So if you put poison now, 100 miles down, you will have a poisonous water. So if you Likewise, if your mind is filled with mental poisons of hatred and craving, well, that stream will continue to have that unless you purify that. If you have spent your life trying to get rid of hatred, craving, and jealousy, you purify your mind stream, that accomplishment will continue, and you can further refine your mind until enlightenment. So someone like a great spiritual master like His Holiness, who has really purified his mind, then what is left is purely the compassionate wish to benefit sentient beings. That's the main component that's going on, basically, with the wisdom of realization, is the fruit of his prayers for sentient beings will continue to manifest. So that's why it's important to somehow find out which support it might be, because this is a mind stream that can tremendously benefit sentient beings.
So this formal recognition of, reincarnation of the predecessor as a lineage of a single consciousness in different life form is very unique to the Tibetan tradition.
My daily practice is preparation for death. Through meditation, make separation, the body and consciousness. So, unless you reach the deepest subtle consciousness, you cannot separate this body and mind. So once you reach that deepest stage, then it can separate. And then go deeper, 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 then the deepest. That's clear light. So anyway, sometimes I joke, in 24 hours, I experience 7 times death and rebirth. And then when the actual death happens, then this practice becomes very useful.
The long life ceremony invokes the energy of healing beings. And even in the ceremony, it sort of enlists these benevolent forces to extend the lifespan of His Holiness. Knowing that those things that you do will have an effect that will go on beyond your death. So the long life things are to be able to make this human life that we have longer so we can use it better to go on in other lives. And we can more develop ourselves and become greater beings so that we can be reborn as greater beings. That's the thing.
I think the Chinese leadership is definitely waiting for His Holiness to pass away. And they think things will be different in their favor, but I don't think so.
If today I die, and then I think most probably, to Dalai Lama may happen.
The way things are going, I think the Chinese definitely like to install a Dalai Lama of their own choice.
There's no question in my mind that as soon as the current Dalai Lama dies, the authorities in Beijing will find what they say is the 15th Dalai Lama. It's happened already with the second highest incarnation in Tibetan Buddhism, the Panchen Lama. And it's the reason why, as early as 1969, the Dalai Lama was saying unequivocally that if there is another Dalai Lama to be born, it will be outside the borders of Tibet. He, in this complicated chess game, has already preemptively said that he's ruling out even the possibility of a 15th Dalai Lama being born within the boundaries of the People's Republic.
So, in order to involve about this Tibetan Lama's reincarnation, then firstly, the Chinese government should accept Buddhism as a sort of good religion, or they should believe that, and should believe the theory of rebirth, reincarnation. Then they should recognize the Chairman Mao Zedong's reincarnation and the Deng Xiaoping's reincarnation. Then they are very sincere to show concern about the reincarnation of Tibetan Lamas.
This Dalai Lama has the final say on the next Dalai Lama. No one else. No power, no money, no Chinese leader can replace this Dalai Lama as far as the next Dalai Lama is concerned. So 14th Dalai Lama will decide on the 15th Dalai Lama.
I hope there will be a 15th Dalai Lama because the name the Dalai Lama and the institution that it represents is a powerful symbol for the Tibetan people and its tradition.
The thing about I will not reincarnate is in his dialogue with the Chinese Communist Party saying they cannot be using a Dalai Lama puppet person to try to keep the Tibetans distracted from their destruction of the Tibetan culture and environment by mining, and diverting all the water and all this kind of thing. That won't work. So he will not be any kind of a Dalai Lama they will find. And actually, he sometimes says he'll reincarnate as a Dalai Lama, maybe if Tibetans want, in exile.
So when he says that he might be the last Dalai Lama, His Holiness is not saying that he will not come back. The point he's making is that, he may be the last one in his lineage that will come back as the Dalai Lama with a formal recognition of the continuation of the institution. If this institution of the formal recognition of the succession of Dalai Lama does come to cease, then the question is, in what form he will come back. And then the answer for that would be that he will choose to be reborn and come back wherever his presence will be able to serve most number of people, most number of sentient beings.
I have no wish to born some heavenly sort of place. But I wish, my only sort of desire is to reborn where some difficulties or problems where I can make some contribution.
The idea was to convey a sense of how I felt about the individuals I painted. And I have got great affection for His Holiness, and I hope that the portrait I painted reflects that. Very few had a spiritual effect on me, and that's what makes him so unique and so important. Well, the first thing I tried to capture was his lovely nature. I was fascinated by his lips, and in pursing his lips, he conveyed a sense of joy and inner peace. That's what I tried to capture. I tried to capture his gentle nature. You rarely meet people that are able to cause you to examine yourself to determine whether or not you're worthy to be in the presence. In this sense, that if he's so peaceful, can I be so peaceful? In other words, he influences people in dealing in the political world and with leaders. Obviously, there's a sense of ego. I certainly have one. In his case, it's hard to find it, and that's what makes him so unique. When I would meet with the Chinese leaders, which I did often, I would say, I've gotten to know His Holiness, and I'm just surprised that you view him as a threat to the sovereignty of China. A conversation I had with Hu Jintao revolved around the Dalai Lama. This took place in Sydney. I said, Mr. President, I'm going to tell you two things. One you're going to like, one you're not going to like. The one you're not going to like is that I'm going to appear in public with His Holiness the Dalai Lama when he receives a congressional gold medal. And of course, he said, the Chinese people won't like that, which really meant he didn't like it. And I said, well, I knew you were going to say that. I told you you're not going to like it. You are going to like this one, and that is I'm coming to your Olympics, regardless of the political pressure. And just make sure I have a good seat. And sure enough, when His Holiness received the gold medal, I think I was the first president to be seen in public with him. Cameras and, reporters and all that. And I did so without any hesitation at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Congressional Gold Medal recipient, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet, and the President of the United States.
It is a distinct honor and a high privilege to welcome the President of the United States, the First Lady, congressional leaders, and all of you to award His Holiness the Dalai Lama with the Congressional Gold Medal, the highest civilian honor the Congress can bestow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Republican Leader of the United States Senate, the Honorable Mitch McConnell.
I want to recognize someone who could have stayed home this afternoon but didn't. U.S. presidents have met privately with the Dalai Lama for years, but it wasn't until today that any of them had lent the prestige of the office to a public event in his honor.
Your Holiness, do you hate the Chinese?
No, almost none. Sometimes I lose some temper, but almost none, any hatred feeling. And instead, say, afterward, I get to more concern, more compassion towards them. And in my daily prayer, there's some certain practice we call exchange or take and give. My positive mental thought is give them through imagination. Take their ignorance and their suffering, their anger, their hatred, take it into myself. So that kind of practice I seriously do.
Your Holiness, 25 years ago, you described your daily practice of take and give, where you take the Chinese anger and ignorance and return to them love and compassion. Has that worked? I mean, who's benefited by your 40 years of that practice?
Benefit to myself. It won't help actual problem, but immense help to maintain peace of mind. All this is a practice. I think even the practice of love, compassion. The benefit, firstly, go to himself, herself. Then, through action, some other people also may get benefit. I think quite often, people get this sort of impression, the practice of love, forgiveness, is something good for others, not necessarily themselves. That's totally wrong. As a sort of practice, these things, immediately you get more peaceful mind, more calm mind. That also gain more inner strength, more self-confidence. Then automatically, come indication from your smile, from your face, and from your action. That gets some benefit to others. Like that. So altruism is, you see, if you think seriously, practice of altruism is the best way to fulfill your own happiness, your own benefit.
There are a few people I want to ask you about because they're going to be in the book. I know you visited in Memphis, the place where Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated. And they've called him the, in a way, he's a kind of a Gandhian in America. What are your thoughts on Martin Luther King?
Oh, I'm one of the admirers about him, about his activities. Like Mahatma Gandhi ji or some other sort of historical sort of important person. The person themselves now no longer with us, but their spirit is still there. So it is our responsibility, whether you see that spirit become alive or not, up to us. So we should implement their wonderful sort of thought or wonderful idea. We should take continuously. Then their spirit remain alive and can be more effective. Just to remember some celebrations and some praise is not sufficient. We must implement. At the end, I think last breathing, if my mind clear, I'm quite sure I will remember, while I'm dying, remember about altruism, entire sentient being. So that I'm quite sure I can practice the moment of my last breathing. If some accident happen, or airplane go down in the sea, then I don't know.
Your Highness, do you have that spiritual will?
No. Not necessary. Not necessary. Like I think my will, and all those my talks, that may be my will. Most of them is recorded. Nowadays, is a tape recorder, or these movie pictures, so everything now recorded. So, if some people have some interest, then they can check these things.
So, is this movie we're making now part of your will?
I think so. After my death, these picture will remain. So next generation, they will look, or they will create some gossips. Oh, the previous Dalai Lama have that kind of view, that kind of talk. Okay. So long space remain, so long sentient beings remain, so long suffering remain, I will remain in order to serve.